Hey guys, Tony D here from absoluteability.com, and today I want to talk to you about how bad you suck at talking to women and people in general. So over the course of this lockdown, I've been teaching online video courses, essentially live video courses, where I have an actress, a beautiful model or whatever, hot ladies, sit in with me and my clients over video chat. We do Zoom meetings and I have them drill conversations. So it's a virtual date where they talk to the girl, I listen, and then I come in when I feel like it's time to give them some tips or an example. And I've noticed some real like obvious commonalities between all of these clients. One of them is that most guys still, even though they've read hundreds of articles, watched hundreds of YouTube videos about talking to women, still make very common rookie mistakes. And one of the main ones is they ask boring, shallow questions. So a typical conversation will go like this. So, what do you do? And the girl might reply, well, I'm a student. Cool. What do you study? I study health nutrition. Cool. So, where are you from? And on and on and on, right? So they'll ask one question that's just like a typical shallow question that leads to another shallow question, and they never really go deeper. They don't go deeper into the subject because these guys don't really care. They don't really care about that person or care about like their values or who they are. They just want to achieve this objective of not fucking up this date, right? Or they don't want to say the wrong thing, perhaps. So one thing you guys can do if you really want to improve your conversational ability is ask deeper questions, right? So for example, say you ask a girl, what do you do? And she tells you she's a student and she's studying, I don't know, biology, right? She's studying biology. You might go deeper, right? So don't just move on and say, that's cool, and move on, but find out why. Why does she study that? Why does she work at that place she works at? You can ask, what made you want to study biology? Or what made you want to study dance? Or why did you decide to become a corporate lawyer, right? Now, this might still be surface, right? But from there, that'll give you a lot more information that you can use to elicit values, to tease her, to build a connection, to build rapport. Yeah, so don't just lead a series of boring questions that like lead from one to the other. Hi there. Don't just like ask one question after the other and then expect her to do all the work. Because if you're leading, if you're trying to lead a date and you're not actually leading, you're just asking questions and expecting her to do all the thinking, it's not going to be very much fun for her, right? So that leads to the second tip. You have to lead the conversation. You may have heard of the 80-20 rule, right? The 80-20 rule is, it's applied in all these different areas of life, but in conversation, when it comes to flirting, you want to be talking 80% of the time and have her talking 20% of the time. Most of these guys I work with, they just kind of sit there and they wait for the woman to ask them questions. So she'll be like, so she'll be asking shallow, boring questions. What do you do? Oh, I'm an engineer, because 99% of my clients are engineers and logical dudes who sit in front of computers and don't interact with many women, and neither do their friends and colleagues, right? So the woman will ask him a question, and he'll say, oh, I'm an engineer, and he'll leave it like that. And she'll go, well, where are you right now? And he might say, well, I'm traveling, I'm in Europe, I'm in Romania. And then he'll just say nothing else after that. He'll just sit there and let the conversation die, right? So you need to fill up these spaces. It's even better if you talk before she asks you questions, right? You might be asking her about what she does and you find something related, right? So she's studying and you say, well, when I was in school and I was studying to be an engineer, I really loved going out after work with my friends and drinking a little bit too much and having some fun. What you're doing in that little bit of conversation is showing some personality, showing some personal values, right? You're not just talking just to give her enough information to get on to the next question, right? You want to express yourself and express your personality while you're doing this. One of the biggest mistakes most guys make is that they don't express any personality. They don't have any charm or charisma. They're just sort of flat, you know, there's no emotional spikes. And that's another tip I want to give you guys. Don't be all pull and no push. It's getting a bit bright here. If you're all pull and no push, you're gonna be just another typical nice guy. You're gonna get friend zoned, right? So it might look like this. You ask a girl where she traveled in the last year before all this bullshit. She goes, oh, I went to Greece. Oh, that's cool. I'd like to go to Greece too. End of conversation, right? Or you say, what do you study in school? And she says, well, I'm an interpretive dance instructor. I'm an interpretive dance instructor. Oh, that's cool. Right on. I like dancing too. So they'll just keep agreeing with the girl on the same conversation points without going going deeper, and two, doing some push, right? So a way you could go a bit deeper is if you tease her a little bit, right? Instead of just pulling, you might push. You say like, oh my God, you're a dancer. What if we go out to hang out and you just get up on the table and start dancing all the time? Or if she's studying computer science, I might be like, hey, you know, I don't want you to hack my computer and take over some satellite or something. I don't want to be accused of being a spy because of you. Right? So you want to qualify her, you want to judge a little bit. When you do that, when you're a little bit of a challenge, it makes people more drawn towards you. Yeah. Hi there. Hi. Lovely day to walk and talk into a camera, isn't it?
Oh, you're going through.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going through.
That's another mistake most guys make, and is that they're too in their heads. They're too worried about what people think about them, including the girl. So they're worried to make a mistake. They're worried to say something that might offend her, right? So say you're talking about ice cream, and you say, oh, I really like chocolate. And she's like, well, I prefer vanilla. One funny thing I'll do is I'll look at her like this. Get out. This date is over. Right? I'll just say, this date is over. You like vanilla? Forget about it. Bitch, get out of here. And most of the time the woman will start laughing, you know, that'll be quite funny, because no guy's doing that. Every guy is pulling, oh, you like vanilla? Well, I also like vanilla. Maybe I like chocolate too, right? Like, they're not going to express their own opinion, or they're not going to tease her or bust on her for her opinion, right? So you want to do a little bit of push. You know, accuse her of something, accuse her of being a bit crazy, accuse her of being a bit silly, a bit weird, but anything other than just building rapport, which is just agreeing with her, telling her that you have the same opinions, never causing any friction. Because if you show just at least a little bit of your own opinion, or you become a bit of a challenge, you tease her and bust on her a little bit, it's going to create those attraction spikes. And a really big problem I found with a lot of men is that they just won't express themselves. So they won't be vulnerable. They'll just stay on the surface of things. They'll talk about where they went on vacation, but they don't talk about their experiences, their feelings, right? So one guy I know, he's in Turkey, and the girl we're working with, she's asking him, how do you like Turkey? He's like, yeah, it's pretty cool. You know, I like that there's a beach nearby. Yeah, but that's where I'd stop you and say, why? Why do you like there being a beach nearby? Is it because you love all the pretty girls being around in bikinis? Is it because you like surfing? You like the adrenaline rush you get from surfing and the sense of danger and freedom? So one of the exercises I'll do with these guys is I'll give them 2 minutes where they're not allowed to ask a question. They're not allowed to sit in silence. They have to talk for 2 minutes about their experiences and beliefs without stopping, right? And this is really hard for a lot of guys, because they're not used to expressing themselves. A lot of men are very stoic. You know, they're very emotionally flat, and they don't want to be vulnerable, because if they become vulnerable, they might get teased, they might get rejected. Maybe they were taught to be that way. Maybe their father was very strict, or their mother was very stoic, and they weren't taught to be emotionally vulnerable. But it's really hard to give someone a lot of value and be entertaining and fun if you're afraid to, like, express emotion, for example, or express opinions. So in an exercise for 2 minutes when you're talking, oh, that's a nice dog, good boy. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so for 2 minutes of talking, a lot of guys, they'll be like forced to sort of explore these topics deeper, right? Because what are you going to talk about for 2 minutes? If I ask you to talk about your last vacation, you might be like, well, I went to Mexico and it was cool. That's where most guys will stop, right? But if you have 2 minutes and you're not allowed to stop talking, they're gonna start talking about their experiences. Well, I had some tacos, but actually, you know what? I got sick from one. I think I got food poisoned. And when I was really sick, it really made me contemplate my relationships with my friends back home. And I've seen guys, they when they have to do this exercise, they start telling these really amazing stories that really intrigue the women and make the women kind of open up and want to share back with them, because women are great receptors of good stories, and they're great at communicating overall. They're much better at communicating emotions and feelings and stories than men are. Men, we just want to get the facts, right? Like even on these videos, men just want the facts. They don't want a lot of stuff talking about their emotional core or their inner game mindsets. They want to know, like, what are the 10 things I can say to get her to take her bra off and let me suck on her boobs as fast as possible. But, you know, basically you want to be able to express yourself, to talk really passionately about the things that you're interested in, your experiences and how you felt about them, the lessons you learned, your opinions on things, your philosophies, right? That's one of the reasons why people like listening to me and they like reading my content, because I'm expressing my opinions. I'm not just saying, here's 10 things to do, but I'm also sharing sort of my views on the world, my views on dating, a little bit of personality, and sometimes a story, right? Anyway, I hope those tips help you. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and keep it open, the video open in your pocket, set on vibrate. And when I'm feeling a little bit lonely, I'll buzz you. When that feature becomes available through YouTube, I'll buzz your pocket so that you know I'm with you all the time. Okay, I'm Tony from Absolute Ability. Talk to you later.